Hey friends, Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. Today we're test driving the 2015 Infiniti QX70S. This is a crossover SUV that's actually been on the market for quite some time, previously known as the Infiniti FX, back before Infiniti recently renamed all their vehicles so they all sort of fall in line with each other. And this is a vehicle that when it did come on the market back in the day, it was very unique because it was a rear-wheel drive sports car platform-based crossover that was big and chunky and sort of butch looking, and it really still is. We're here almost, well over 10 years later, and on the market today, there's really nothing else like it. BMW, Mercedes, they've sort of gone there, but never really quite all the way like Infiniti has. And so I think really today we want to find out, is it still fresh? Our QX70 gets the S designation, which means it has the Sport package. This comprehensive list of exterior and interior touches dramatically changes the look and attitude. It really brings a fresh aura to it. On the outside, these touches include huge 21-inch dark finish wheels, which are tied in with dark chrome trims all over, from door hardware to the grills and roof rails. With our technology package also came the adaptive auto-leveling bi-xenon headlamps. With evolutionary styling updates since it debuted as the FX in 2003, the look remains unique and stands out in the crowd, while controversial Infiniti's undersea creature facial design really wears well on this model. The interior gains a number of upgrades with the Sport package, starting with climate-controlled sport seats, rich contrast stitching, and a dark headliner to set the mood. Sizable solid magnesium paddle shifters give you an option beyond the shift lever for manual shifting. Overall design of the cabin is still daring by modern terms, with artful lines and curves, now augmented with the latest look of diagonal diamond stitching in its soft trims. High levels of fit and finish and the feel of quality are well in line with its pricing. The infotainment system with its user interface is top of the class for feature content as well as usability behind the wheel. An array of buttons and knobs along with steering wheel controls give you plenty of ways to get the job done. The around view monitor is a must-have and continues to be a welcome feature in the Infiniti vehicles we test. Best yet, sound quality from its Bose 11-speaker sound system is downright thunderous across the spectrum. Comfort and space is never an issue here either, with both front and rear seat passengers getting all the room they need. Rear cargo space is larger than expected from first glance at the exterior silhouette, and of course those seats do fold down for even more space. Under the hood is the brand's venerable 3.7-liter VQ V6 engine, now offering up 325 horsepower and 267 pound-feet of torque. It's now mated to a 7-speed automatic transmission, which is good, allowing that engine to rev up to its power peaks. I found the power to be plenty fun, but because the torque is lower and it requires higher revs to reach, the transmission often has to be forced into a number of downshifts to really dig into the power, particularly going up hills. As expected, handling is a very strong suit for the QX70. Its chassis has a pretty heady pedigree, versions of it underpinning cars like the Nissan 370Z and the Infiniti G-Series cars now known as the Q40 and Q60. Steering is sharp and the suspension tuning tight. Roll stiffness is very robust, which gives the QX70 the feeling of a sport sedan rather than a tall and bulky crossover SUV. Ride on rough roads can be a bit brittle due to its larger 21-inch wheels, but not so much that you wouldn't want them. Our QX70 was equipped with a full battery of driver assistance programs, including lane departure warning, radar cruise control, and forward collision warning with brake assist. We found them all to work well and unobtrusively. The EPA rates the 2015 QX70 at 17 mpg city, 24 mpg highway, and 19 mpg combined. At 4,200 pounds for our rear-wheel drive tester, it's moderately heavy, which makes that engine work. We did, however, achieve 22 mpg combined for the week, which was more than promised. The QX70 has not yet been fully rated by the IIHS, but achieved good ratings on the moderate overlap crash test and head restraints operation. It has available crash prevention systems as ours had, thus, depending on the crash test performance in other tests, it could be eligible for the Top Safety Pick Plus rating. Well, how'd we do with the QX70S? I have to admit I really did like it, but admittedly, I've almost bought this vehicle twice since it's been on the market. The first time was when it first came out.
was very cool, had great styling, and it was really groundbreaking at the time. My problem was I was a little younger and it was a little on the spendy side for Sam. Second time I looked at it, I could afford it pretty easily, but it didn't quite have the space back here, no third row, and I was looking for something a little bigger, although I was pretty tempted to buy it at the time. Today, boy, it's a nice package. They've done a lot of updates, running updates that really have kept it fresh, I think. And I really do like the sport package with these black wheels and the black chrome trim. It really makes it feel contemporary. Now, as we look at the stats here, this does have a lot of options on it. It's up, nearly 15K over base price, and you can actually still keep going. You always could with this vehicle. You could really load it up. But the bottom line is all those options add the modern features that a lot of its contemporaries have, and people expect that today, particularly the driving aids, which work particularly well on this vehicle. Now, as we look at how we start for the week on performance and metrics and things like that, the only area I was really wishing for more was the drivetrain refinement. This transmission that's in here, the 7-speed, up here in the mountains, requires a lot of prodding to get it to downshift and get with the game and be where you want it to be. If you shift it manually, obviously, that's not an issue. The other area is the engine. This engine is just a little bit on the buzzy side. Not a bad thing if you're into sports cars and performance. If you were a buyer looking at a Lexus RX, for instance, it might be a little noisier than you want, but chances are, if you're looking at Lexus, you're probably not looking at this car anyway. But all that in, we're still at 4.5 stars for the week. Very good. I'm Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. I hope you enjoyed the ride.